and welcome to my channel, Solar Moon Tarot. So today we're going to be focusing on some political news, and some of it's kind of interesting what I channeled in for this reading. We already have some cards laid out. These cards, especially this top card here, wanted to pop out. I was just shuffling just to get energy flowing, and this top card popped right out, and then the other two cards wanted to follow through. And then this one popped out when I was taking the deck out of the box, and this card was like right on top, already showing itself to me. So we'll go over that in just a bit, because this deck specifically talks about manifesting, and I feel like it's what the collective is manifesting for our country, for the world, for people, just everything in general. And then we'll go into the pendulum, because I do have some questions that I would like to ask. Also, if you are watching and you have any questions, please go ahead and leave them down below. Just know that I am filming these like a week ahead of time, so if your question is no longer relevant, I probably will not be asking it when I record next, but just because the energy for political stuff just keeps changing, and it's just every day something new is happening, right? So just keep that in mind with your questions, but please still feel free to put a question down below. And if it's not politically related, you can go ahead and put that down too, and I could ask certain questions like that in another video. Whatever you feel like asking is perfectly fine, but I want to go over what I channeled, and I'm still getting from the last political video that I that went out about rose quartz symbolizing love, self-love, and I even wrote in my journal here with a rose quartz pen. It actually has rose quartz crystals in it. So I was writing with that, and yeah, I just still felt that overwhelming sense of love with the protests, and we're fighting with love, fighting against this negativity. So that's energy is still coming through, which is really good, and that we're pushing back still on all of the negative aspects that are going on right now. And then I started focusing on, I don't like saying his name, so I'm just gonna stick to Orange Man. Talking to him, or F47, talking about him, I felt really strongly about his health. That wanted to come through, which has also been talked about a lot lately, that he's just going to keep declining. I kind of feel like it's a slow decline, but it's steady, is what I was getting. That this feeling of that it's slow, but it's steady, and it's just going to keep going down. Like there's really no way for him to go up. And we're seeing this even when he's talking to the public, because even though he's saying he's cognitively healthy, he's not. A lot of the things he is saying in this term compared to his last term, like his last term, yeah, he would just start talking. It's like, what are you even talking about? You make no sense, right? But there was still some sense to it, if you understand, if you kind of get what I'm getting at. Like, it wasn't too far away from his point. With this term, it's so different with how his mind is working, with how his speech is. Like, what was he talking about? I saw recently a quote. I can't even really remember what he was talking about because it made no sense. But he was focusing on a political question. Oh, it was talking about AOC and Jasmine Crockett, about how they both have low IQ. And then he finished his statement by saying giraffes and elephants or something like that. It just completely... He wasn't really answering a question, I don't think. He was just insulting Crockett and AOC like he usually does. He just insults people. And then finishes off his statement that just makes no sense. Cognitively makes no sense. So we're going to be seeing this decline more. I think there's going to be more swelling around his ankles and with his hands. There's going to be more about his heart. And then one of the interesting things that I was getting a little later on, as I was trying to figure out this, these feelings and these messages that I was getting, Mike Johnson's name popped into my mind, and I don't really know why. I still can't figure it out. But the moment his name popped into my mind, I felt very dizzy thinking about him. Like, I actually felt dizzy. And I will admit that 3 years ago, I was in a car accident and I got a pretty bad concussion. And so, yeah, dizziness is part of that. I'm still diagnosed with post-concussive syndrome, and sometimes there is dizziness. I have not been that dizzy in a long time. Like, that was dizziness in the beginning of my healing. It just felt very weird that that dizziness popped up the moment his name popped into my mind. So, again, I don't know what's going on there. And I know it's nothing to do with my own health. Like, that's not connected here. Because again, I have not been dizzy, and don't be concerned about me or anything like that. I'm not concerned, because that felt more like part of the message. It didn't feel like something is physically wrong with me. It felt like the message. I don't know if that dizziness is going to be connected with F45. And so maybe F45 gets dizzy, or maybe has a dizzy spell and falls, and Mike Johnson is present. I don't know. Or there's something about Mike Johnson himself with that. It could be a metaphor, maybe not something physical. And it's something that I kind of want to ask the pendulum to see if they give us an answer. If they don't give us an answer, then it's something that we're not meant to know. Or at least, to a full extent. Or not yet as well. But I don't know about you. There's a lot of people that are behind F45 right now, or F47, whichever you want to say. I'm going to say F45. Just based off of my own feeling about how the 2024 election went. But anybody who's behind F45, those people, there's just something not right about them. Very negative. And I'm trying to think of how to explain this a little bit better other than like it's just negative, but like that's kind of how it is. They just have this negative energy around them. But with Mike Johnson specifically, whenever I see an image of him, I something's not right there. I do not feel right about him. And I don't really know why. For some reason sometimes I get the feeling like he's really the head of a lot of these decisions that are going through. But I'm not 100% sure on that. That's just a feeling because there's no actual like evidence, right? And I don't want to be saying things that or I don't want to come out and say like, "Oh, I'm feeling this way, so this is 100% true." No. They are feelings, they are predictions, but until proven otherwise, I'm not going to say what I'm feeling is a fact. This is just how I feel. This is just the energy that he specifically is giving off to me. And yeah, we may never know, but this is just what's coming through for me. So we'll ask more a little bit about the dizziness thing. But I'm also getting that through this slow and steady decline of F45's health, and this has been happening a lot, not just when I was channeling this specific message, not when I'm just sitting here, but I've kind of been feeling this way lately in general. The beginning of next year, I feel like there's going to be some big things happening. And again, this is just a prediction. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. It might just be a change in the energy completely where it's never going to happen, or it may be postponed. But I cannot shake, at least currently, that the beginning of next year, specifically in February, things are going to be changing, and then that's going to lead into May, which is what we were told by Spirit in our last video. And it had something to do with Harris. About Harris in May. And maybe with Harris in May, it could be a new election. It could be maybe some information about how the 2024 election went. Maybe we're going to finally get some answers with that. Yeah, I think for F45 specifically though, November through February, I feel like is going to be a lot of change revolving around him. And probably even revolving around MAGA, since they are tied with him. And I mean, we're already seeing this, but like, I just feel like MAGA is just going to keep dwindling down further. There's going to be less support. Protests are probably going to be getting bigger. And while things are changing, and I kind of feel, I guess it could be now until May, but especially February until May, that time period, I feel like it's just going to be very weird and very uncertain. And I wouldn't be surprised if it's a challenging time. And probably more challenging for others, depending on people's situations. But during this uncertainty, more people are going to be coming together. They're going to be uniting more, going to be fighting through this uncertainty, protecting people. And unfortunately, I can't say this is going to be like 100% everybody, because you're still going to get people who support F45. You're still going to get people who support MAGA. There's no way to 100% change people's minds. Wish it could happen that way, but it's not going to. There's always going to be people who support this, whether they actually have good intentions or not. If they have good intentions, then they're just misguided, honestly. Probably still listening to F45 or who's ever behind him, because simply they see it as like he's the one in charge, so that's who we listen to. He should be somebody that has all the facts, but he doesn't. He's just spewing numbers. He's spewing hate. He's spewing lies. But for some people, it's hard to believe that a person in charge, I guess, would do such a thing. I don't know. But whatever's happening during this time, because I kind of feel like a sense of not just uncertainty, but also confusion of like, where are things going to go now? Yeah. And I don't want to say that F45's health decline from November to February is him passing. I don't want to say that. Part of me feels like it could lead that way, but it could also just be he's so far gone, probably cognitively, that maybe he gets removed, which then you would think Vance would become president. However, this is also just my own opinion. I do not think he's strong enough to be president. He may not even want that. So then there's just uncertainty of like, well, what's happening? How is this going to go? Who's really in charge? It's going to be a confusing time. But I feel like eventually things are going to get resolved in May. But let's go ahead. Let's look at the cards first, at least the tarot cards here, just to see if we can get some more on this message. So the card that had popped up pretty quickly was the Magician in reverse. We have the Fool in reverse. And we have the Ace of Pentacles upright. Okay. Yeah. I think this is kind of just what I was saying already. Right now, there just feels like I don't know, it's just how it says in my mind, like a lack of magic, a lack of I don't want to say a lack of unity because we are seeing people come together through these protests, but it could be more of like a lack of unity just in the government. Yeah, I think that's it. It's not a lack of unity with the people, it's the lack of unity in the government. A lack of power. MAGA probably trying to pretend that they have more power than they really do, but really their numbers are dwindling, the support is dwindling. I feel like F45 and his team, the people behind him, I feel like they're realizing things aren't as blissful for them as they like to pretend they are. I keep hearing false hope, like they're looking ahead with false hope. And then with this Ace of Pentacles here, what I'm feeling is that resolve. You know, even though there's uncertainty, there's going to be uncertainty and confusion. I feel like even with this Fool card here, the people may even feel like there may be no hope. And I don't mean to laugh at that. I just talking about politics is also uncomfortable, you know. But yeah, there may be some people who, or maybe a majority if it's popping up like this, but it could also mean for MAGA too. But for the people specifically, looking out and with the uncertainty and confusion, just feeling like there's no hope. But then something is going to be presented to bring a sense of new stability. A beginning of putting things back in order. It just kind of feels like something or someone probably comes in and is presenting the solution. You know, this pentacle here is the solution. The hand here is somebody presenting it. Presenting a new start. It's kind of like somebody just comes in and just takes this negative energy that's making everything skewed and then just puts it back into place. And then things start making sense again. But with this, there's still going to be uncertainty and confusion, even though things are starting to get better. You know, it's not going to be fixed overnight. There's so much damage that was done. It's not going to be fixed overnight. But it's a good start. And it's not going backwards, because obviously what we've had in the US, in our political system, in our government, isn't working. So it's finding new solutions, new stability, being more grounded, and then setting forth on a better future. But it's going to be steady, because things that have happened just within this year need to get fixed, need to be, again, it's that energy of just, all right, putting some things back to where they should be, but then also looking at things and going, does this still serve us as a whole? Does this still serve the country? No? Okay, so then what are we going to do to replace that so then we can have a better future? Because things needs to change. Things need to change. We can't keep going back. Okay. So let's go ahead and get into the pendulum. Just ask some questions that I would like answered. Let it gain some momentum. Okay. Actually, let me reposition myself a little. There we go. Okay. Will SNAP's benefits be postponed in November 2025? Yes. Okay, thank you. Will SNAP benefits start again? Like ever start again? Yes. Thank you. Can you point to the month in when SNAP's benefits will be available? Okay. Getting a feeling that they are pointing towards January. Are you saying January is when SNAP benefits will be available again? Yes. Thank you. Which is interesting, because when I was writing down questions to ask for the pendulum, I wrote down a question of when will the shutdown end, the government shutdown end. And I felt like it was a little bit loose on the answer. It wasn't really certain. It said it could end November through January. So is that correct? The government shutdown will end November through January? Yes, thank you. Okay. Can we get a more confirmed answer? When will the shutdown end? Okay. December. So you're saying December, the shutdown will more than likely end. Yes. Thank you. Okay, so that makes sense. So If it ends, or if the government reopens in December, that means states are scrambling to get the benefits up and going again, and making sure people have their benefits, and that their benefits are already set for the next month, which will make it start in January. And I was going to ask if that was correct, but the pendulum is already swinging yes. So thank you so much for that confirmation. Okay, so now I want to get something a little clearer on what is going on with the feeling I had about Mike Johnson. Sorry, I moved my hand and it paused swinging a little bit. That was my fault. Was the dizziness a metaphor? No. Okay. Was the dizziness related to F45's health? Yes. Okay. Thank you. So with that dizziness, is Mike Johnson present for that? No. Okay. Okay, so there's some other connection there in regards to F45's health and Johnson. So with F45's health decline, is Johnson actually the one taking the reins toward the MAGA movement? Yes. Thank you. Has he always been the one in charge of these decisions? No. Okay. Has he been a big part of these decisions? Yes. Okay. So, for MAGA, F45 needs to be, I guess, I'm just going to say like this, just put to the side, moved to the side in order for Johnson to step through and take the reins. Yes. Thank you. Okay. So from November to February, F45's health is in fact going to decline further. Yes. Okay. MAGA is still going to try and hold on during that time. Yes. But they're going to fail because they don't have the support. Yes. Okay. So is February to May going to be a confusing and uncertain time for the people? Yes, but the resolve is in fact going to happen in May. Yes, thank you. Is Harris going to be part of that? Yes, okay. Does it have anything to do with the fact that the 2020 or 2024 election has been investigated? Yes, okay. And this investigation shows that in some states the votes were tampered with. Yes, okay. Thank you. Is there anything else you'd like to share with us today? No. Okay, thank you so much. All right. Again, if you have any questions, you can go ahead and put them down below, and I will ask them the next time I record a political video. But let's go ahead and get into our last bit of cards here with the manifesting, and I would like us to meditate for the rest of this video to manifest what it is we really want for the world, for our political systems in this world, for our countries, no matter where you're from. And it doesn't have to just be the US. Like, if you're watching this and you're not from the US, please feel free to go ahead and manifest things for your own country, okay? Because it's not just the US that are having problems. There's other problems in the world too, and everything needs to be addressed. So it doesn't matter where you're from. Please manifest positivity, manifest healing. And the card that I had seen when I opened up the box that the deck came in, that I really felt like wanted to come out, was divine protection. Okay, so we are divinely protected as a whole, and I get goosebumps just talking about it. It is talking, or it says here on the card, your angels and spirit guides are on call to assist you always. The universe has your back. Which is interesting because that's actually the affirmation cards that I'm going to be using again in this video. I used them last time, but the universe has your back is what this deck is called. The divine protection, it's not just talking about for you individually, it's just talking about everybody as a whole, the world as a whole. We are being divinely protected during this time. I do want to get other manifestation cards to see what else is coming through. But that's the biggest one, is if you are feeling lost, know that you are not alone. In one way, know that you're not alone in that feeling. I'm sure many people are feeling the same way you are. But know that, I feel like these top two wanted to pop out. Know that you are not alone in your protection. Okay? You are not alone. Like, your own guides are here for you. Angels are here for you. Any spiritual being that you may feel connection with is here for you. We also have, I like that. We have wild creation. That's the first one that also wanted to pop out. And it says, allow energy to flow freely rather than trying to force the outcome. I am open to surprises. So, yeah, we've talked about this before, I believe, and I've heard other people talk about it too. So many of us don't want F-45 in office. So many of us feel like this election was tampered with. And we're all sitting in this energy of like, something's got to be done about this. This needs to be stopped. You know, how far do we have to go before things are stopped? How much is too much? How far is too far? This card, even though this card is talking about, even though things aren't happening fast enough for what we think it should be like, the problem is that we also don't see, or we're not aware. If you're not in government, you're not aware of the things that are happening behind the curtain. Trust, the spirit is saying to trust that things will be resolved. Allow the timing to come through naturally. Allow this energy to come through naturally. Instead of trying to force this energy to come through. Because I don't know, I also don't know what's happening behind the scenes. But I do know that things are probably, like, if there are, I do believe that there are people trying to stop certain things from happening. And these people may be just trying to gather as much evidence as they can, or waiting for some, I don't know. I don't know. There's just this energy of like, things are being worked on, but we need to get our ducks in a row, is basically what I've been hearing. But I think it's been difficult because of the chaos that's in the government right now. And what MAGA is doing and trying to push through. But yeah, it's just getting all their ducks in a row. And I kind of feel like with this energy, even those that are probably trying to fight back, again, this is just a prediction, but I do believe that there are people trying to fight back. I feel like it's taking longer for them too than they realized, because of this clash. You know, you have MAGA just pushing things through, and then that kind of postpones some other things. But again, I don't think this is going to last forever. I think, yeah, it just needs to take time, get their ducks in a row, and they're not forcing it to happen. They're just letting it go with the flow, because especially if MAGA still does have some support, if they were to just force MAGA in the government out of office, this is still going, we're still in a situation where that's going to really piss people off. Okay, there may be more conflict than resolve, and they kind of want that conflict to dwindle down further. but we just need to keep pushing back. I am open to surprises, though. Yeah, I felt this before. And I think it's going to happen during this time of uncertainty and confusion, that things may be revealed where you're going to have things that are just kind of like, that makes sense, or oh, I assumed that. But there's going to be some shockers. And maybe it has to deal with the files. But let's go with our last manifestation card. Here we have Beacon of Truth. Pause and tune into your inner guidance before taking action. I choose what's right. So this makes me think of, what we were just talking about, going with the flow, taking pauses to gather the right information before taking action, not to just leap in, because that may cause more problems than solutions. But what I'm also getting strongly from this card is that the truth will come out. The truth will come out. It's going to be like this beacon of light. There may still be some questions that the general public has, but I think for the most part, people are going to be getting the truth. The truth will come out. The truth will come out about the files. The truth will come out about maybe not everything, but maybe some things happening behind the scenes that we don't see currently. The truth will come out about the election. The truth will come out more about F45's health. Yeah. So yeah, there may, with a lighthouse too, at least how I view lighthouses through like stories and stuff like that, and what a lighthouse may symbolize in that specific story, there is some mystery to a lighthouse as well. Because if you think about it, like you're out on a boat or a ship in the ocean or in a lake, and all you see in the distance, like it's dark out, right? Stars are out, but all you see in the distance is this beacon of light from a lighthouse. There's the truth there in the distance. And then what's around us is just this dark mystery. And maybe some things in that mystery may reveal itself. Maybe a town lights up with their street lights or something. Or the moon shines down on something. The moonlight, shining down on something. It can be both peaceful and scary. And I kind of feel like that's the energy that's coming through for what's to come. Let's go ahead and end this reading with some affirmation cards. Oh, wait, I did want to use this card too. I forgot about that. I wanted to use this deck. What was on the bottom of the deck? Okay, I kind of felt like that wanted to... The card that fell out from the bottom of the deck was Ball and Chain, Heaviness, addictions, emotional baggage, unhappily married. That definitely feels like F45's energy. Because there's speculation about his addictions to things. And also, come on. I don't think Melania is happy in that marriage. That's just my opinion. But yeah, some heaviness probably coming through. During this time. Probably feeling like a ball and chain to the government right now. But then we've got mortar and pestle, breaking things down, making something else, making new beginnings, manifesting new beginnings. So it may be dark right now, but it's going to get better. So let's go ahead. Yeah, let's get some affirmations and this reading. Ooh, I feel like this one actually in the middle of the deck. Okay. And this one. And then on the bottom of the deck, go with that too. On the bottom of the deck, it feels like I want to start with that one. We have my fearless freedom lights up the world. And we got this sun with the darkness. And I've had this card pop up before, I think in one of my shorts that I was trying to do that I also fell back on. This is love. This is the pushback from the protests. This is just positive energy, unity, love. I already said love, but love. The people pushing back the darkness. Pushing back MAGA. We also have I honor how I want to feel. I honor my manifestations. I honor my feeling of hope, of things getting better. I feel like there's more to that card. And I'm just trying to grasp it. I honor the future. I honor also my present, managing what I can manage, controlling what I can control. I honor my emotions during this scary time, this uncertain time, through meditation, through therapy, through unity, togetherness, family, friends, helping. Yeah. And then we also have, in any moment, I can surrender to the powerful presence of love through prayer, contemplation, and stillness. So kind of what we were just saying with how I want to feel. Surrender to love. Surrender to your present moment. And bring in love. And it can be through prayer. And however you pray. Meditation, things like that. Therapy. And then lastly, we have thank you, universe, for helping me see beyond the limits of fear. Thank you for expanding my perceptions so that I can see what is of the highest good. Yes. Let's not stay in fear. It's okay to be scared, but we also need to bring in love. We need to bring in positivity. We need to trust that this isn't an end-all be-all situation. There are so many people fighting back and wanting a better future. That energy is going to help push back that negativity. Okay, we just need to trust the timing, trust the process, trust things will get better. And I feel like I want to end this with showing you guys my journal where I write down my channeled messages and any ideas for a video I may have. I have 4 books, including this one, that have a butterfly design on it and also a saying on top. And I chose this one for my readings. And it's stay positive. And I really felt like this needed to be shown to you guys today. Even though it's hard, we need to stay positive and trust that transformation is coming. Okay. So, thank you guys so much for joining in on this video. I hope things resonated with you. I hope it brought some clarity. I hope it brings you positivity and calmness and makes you not so afraid. Just hang in there, okay? Reach out for help if you can, and if you need to. Please reach out for help in any way possible. Alrighty. Thank you again so much for coming by, and I hope you have a great rest of your week. Cutting in here to apologize. I completely forgot that I said that I wanted to do a meditation for our manifestations of what we were bringing into the world, the collective, just everybody on this planet in general, to bring in positivity. We got divine protection, the wild creation card with allowing things to just come in when they're meant to, and a beacon of truth, revealing the truth on things. You can go ahead and also add in any other manifestations that you would like. These are just the 3 that popped out for today. But let's go ahead and light the candle. So let's take this time as I light the candle to take a deep breath in and out. And now let's sit here and meditate for a few minutes on our manifestations to clear out this negative energy in our world.